Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Eden Dizon from Pampanga, Philippines, and I'm here to share with you how Redox has helped us in terms of our health issues. Initially, I was introduced to the products way back in 2021 of May, and I have used the gel for my eczema problems. And it was then that I really experienced how powerful Redox is. And so after my first purchase of the associate kit, membership kit, um, I ordered for a bigger gel, and I considered it as our first aid kit in a tube, because you can literally use it uh, on everything. And I had an accident. Um, I accidentally touched a very hot pot, and the only medicine or gel that I use as my first aid is, of course, the Redox gel. And it did not leave any scar or anything. And again, that's another testimony how powerful Redox is. And last year, November 26, 25, my husband experienced a mild stroke. So initially what we did, well, initially he doesn't really want to go to the doctor, but I was able to persuade him. But prior to going to the hospital, to the doctor, what I initially did was, again, to put Redox gel, particularly specifically because I have seen his veins na namamaga dito sa may noo niya. And I applied Redox gel, and I also applied Redox gel behind the ears, and also to his hands, and also to his feet. I didn't have the Redox drink that time. What I had is only the big tube of Redox gel. And so when we went to the hospital, I think his BP was 160 over 120. And fortunately, he was not admitted. He was given medicine to lower his blood pressure. But I continued on applying the Redox gel as many times as possible in a day. And I have witnessed the temporary paralysis of my husband. I think it's on the right side, ne? Sa right side. He cannot even hold a spoon when he's eating. And I ordered the Redox drink, and that's what he was taking. And so after going to the hospital, I think around 2 to 3 days, we went to our doctor, and we showed her the results, yung mga laboratory results niya. And nabigla ang doctor. And then sabi nga niya, parang malakas yata ang asawa ko sa taas. And he was able to, because he was able to survive, yung mild stroke niya. And so, he was given the medicine by the doctor, particularly sa liver, and also sa kanyang blood pressure. But I did not stop, he did not stop taking the Redox drink. He would take it twice a day, and also the generous application of the Redox gel, Redox drink and Redox gel, because literally he would be dragging his right foot just to, go from one place to another. And yun nga, nagkaroon siya ng temporary paralysis. So that was November 25. And he was again asked to have his lab test, I think, end of November or first week of January. And January, and well, the good thing is the results were good. His liver has been cleared and the normalized yung blood pressure niya. And he was given the clearance that he can go back to work by February of the following year. So, um, estimately, mga 2 months. Because we both didn't have an idea kung paano ba ang recovery and all sa stroke. So, I personally thought na yung quick recovery niya is just normal. So, after mga 1 month, nagagalaw na niya yung kamay niya, hindi na niya dinadrag yung paa niya para makalakad. And so I thought that was just normal. Until our neighbors, people whom we know, were asking, saan ba siya nagpa-therapy and all, ano ba ang tinitake niya? Because I think I was not able to mention, hindi nagpa-therapy yung asawa ko. It's just the drink and also the gel. So when people started asking kung ano yung ginawa niya, ano ang tinake niya and all, that's the only time na nag-sink in talaga sa akin kung gaano ka-powerful yung Redox. And that started it all, no? When people were asking, we just felt that there is a need for, for a lot of people, for everyone to know that there is a product like this, no? We call it the miracle in a bottle. No? Hindi ko alam na ganun pala kabilis ang recovery ng husband ko. Kung hindi lang nagtanong yung mga kapitbahay at yung mga kakilala namin na naka-experience din ng stroke. So, my husband is here to give his own personal experience of the Redox kasi yung mga nabanggit ko are only the things that I have observed, no? So, probably he can tell you kung ano naging effect nito sa pagtulog niya, pag-ihi niya sa gabi, and yon. So, here is my husband. By the way, we're both teachers, so here. Ako ang dalawa. Tuloy yung table na kaya mo yan. Bilis mo. Yan, bilis mo.
Yan. Okay, good evening, everybody. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Abel Dizon. I am the husband of Eden Dizon, and I'm a public school teacher. I am high school teacher teaching values education. So what happened to me was really devastating at the time, simply because of heart attack, mild stroke. I have it last November 25, 2022, and it was really difficult for me at the time because I don't want to accept the fact that I have a heart attack. So I never visited doctor until the third day. On the third day, I was really having difficulties in doing a lot of things, especially breathing. So I asked my wife. I was able to convince. I was convinced by my wife to visit a doctor, and at the time, the doctor's words were totally surprised. I may say maybe because the first doctor that attended me told me that you have a very strong attachment up above when he was referring to God. And I told him why. Because at your stage, with all the results that I have done in your, or whatever results they may be, he told me that you are lucky enough that you are very close with God, simply because at this time, at this moment, you are supposedly dead. So I got nervous. So I told my wife, come on, get all the receipt, get all the whatever the doctor says, and then please let's make some allow me to be looked upon by another doctor, simply because I got nervous. So there I got Dr. Tantingko. She told me that with all the result that he was holding, she told me that why you are here? You are not supposed to be here. You are supposed to be in the hospital. And I am not only referring to a hospital, but you should be admitted in an ICU. Why, doc? Because whatever the reason the doctors has, she simplified it by saying you are lucky enough that you have survived. That devastated me. That pains me a lot because I got surprised by it. And then I was really having difficulties, excuse me, I was really having difficulties in walking around. Uh, my hands is always at my chest. I tried to pull it down, but I cannot pull it. I was having difficulties in walking. That's why I am thinking what really happened to me. So I have my right foot is really having difficulties in walking. I cannot stand. My hands were totally tied at my chest. I cannot even hold the spoon when I eat. And taking a bath and putting some clothes on is difficult. I have to be on a wall so that I will not fall down. And then uh, it also struck me because there are instances that I forgot. I really forgot something. There are some things that I have forgotten, like especially my child, the young boy. His name is David Abel, but I kept on calling him Kerbin. So my wife is so worried about me, but he took some time to allow me to use this one, uh, as a gel, and later on he convinced me to use this Redox uh, every time I need them. So he put some gel on my hands and on my foot, and I have to drink this one Redox. On the heart attack happens on November 25, but I got my clearance to teach at January, and I was able to go back or return to service in February 8th. Uh, I may not be 100%, I may not be 100% healed today, but I feel better than what I feel at the time. Uh, Recently, without my wife's knowledge, I used to walk from our home to school, and it took me 30 minutes, but I feel good enough. I feel great enough, and I am planning to run again, to jog around after a year. So maybe next year I will be running around. I'll be much better. But I kept on walking today. I spend at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes walking every day. And um, my my I don't know how would I say it, but there are cases that I could remember a lot of things. I could teach well. I could probably teach the the real the real lesson that I have to teach. Although I have difficulties in using the stairs, like especially upstairs. Today I teach in the third floor of a building, and I walk there 3 times a day. Starting from 12 o'clock up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, every break I went down, and then I used the stairs. It was a very tiring one, but I feel okay about it. I hope everybody would be able to understand what I mean, but I feel great today. My right hand is okay. I could raise them up. My foot, I could walk them properly. Uh, just that there is a big difference after that heart attack. I hope I could share a lot of things more, but probably today, it's about what have happened to me, and later on perhaps maybe how am I after a year of my stroke. Thank you and God bless you all.